What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm continuing to try to come at you with some fresh brews and, showcase some of the new cards from March of the Machine. And so, I've decided to, look back at some of the older tribes that seem to have gotten some sweet new support from some of these new battle cards. And I'm talking, of course, about zombies. And so, without further ado, let's jump into the first of tonight's brews, because we've got a mono black one and a Dimir one. And I'm still uncertain which of the two is better. But I think probably mono black. And I think now that the season is reset and we are back in Platinum, this is a good time to test out some jankaroonies. So, mono black. Zombies! The new card, of course, that I'm talking about is the Invasion of Innistrad. 4-mana battle with flash. Has 5 of these defense counters on it, though. I wish it was just a little bit less. But honestly, it's not terrible because of the flash. So, the opponent swings in with all of their things. You flash it in. Kill one of those things, because when it enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets -13/-13, so pretty much just deals with anything in the format. And then you can swing, your turn, you untap, and now the opponent's tapped out. You can just throw everything at the deluge. And I like these battles where they sort of pay you back for not going all in on attacking the opponent's face, which often feels like the better choice. In this case, at least you're getting back 2/2/2 black zombie creature tokens when it enters the battlefield, and you get this cool little graveyard hate ability, which in the current meta is very relevant because of the bloody millions of people trying to reanimate Atraxas in all the possible ways that we have of doing so. So, I mean, it is very slow as graveyard hate, but it does come up. I've even considered playing... there's another zombie card that exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard, create a 2/2 blah, blah, blah. And it's got, it's instant speed, flashback for 1. So honestly, I think we may end up cutting something and just playing a couple of these to deal. And of course, if this was best of 3, then this would immediately go into my sideboard for the Atraxa matchup. But more on that at the end of the video, where we'll discuss some potential best of 3 sideboard shenanigans. But the rest of the deck is all things that we know. I'm actually just going to quickly make one last edit that I was thinking about doing. Edit, and then I go and write it in the one last BrewLabifications that I was thinking about earlier, because this Graf Reaver is good for dealing with planeswalkers, but against mono red, taking a damage at the beginning of every upkeep is really not good, and it lost me a few matches in testing. So down 1, up 1 Edict, which is also a way of potentially dealing with planeswalkers. Now that I feel a lot more comfortable. The rest of the cards are all very old, and we know and love them. Things like Champion of the Perished. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So I find myself often aggressively mulliganing to make sure that I have one of these as my turn 1 play. If it goes unanswered and you can follow it up with a Jadar or a Graf Digger or a Tainted Adversary on turn 2, then you're off to the races, and this thing can get rapidly quite big. And then, can act as a bit of a beatdown. But otherwise, it just eats some removal from the opponent. I thoroughly enjoyed playing zombies when they first came out, so I really hope to give this deck one last little bit of life before it rotates out. And of course, it synergizes nicely when you manage to flip the Invasion of Innistrad into Deluge of the Dead, because you get 2 zombie tokens, and that'll, you get double triggers on the champion. Pretty nice. Then we got 3 cut downs, 3 go for the throats, 1 Sheoldred's Edict. If you couple that with the Invasion of Innistrad, which is also removal, and the fact that I am running 4 Invoke Despairs in the deck, suddenly, removal-wise, I feel very, very comfortable against all types of strategies from the opponent. And, Invoke Despair also gets rid of the odd enchantment when we can't deal with it in other ways in these colors. If you include the Graf Reaver, Sheoldred's Edict, then we've also got quite a few ways of dealing with planeswalkers. So honestly, like, not a bad brew. Win rates are pretty good. I'll, as always, show you at the end of the video my untapped profile. You can check out some stats over there at the end of the video. But the rest of the 2-drops, I don't really need to go over. Again, these are all like very old cards that I'm sure we've all seen before. The adversary is amazing right now against mono red and things. Just as like death touchy blocker with a slightly bigger booty is really good. And the same can be said for the Fell Stinger, where the stats are reversed. 2/3 becomes a 3/2, but also has death touch. Can be a pretty good attacker. Can also just draw you some cards, where we're sacrificing often these decayed zombies from either the adversary or Jadar to the exploit mechanic to draw 2 cards. We do also lose 2 lives, so just keep that in mind. The Headless Rider is nice for like sweeper protection. You know, you've got your champion, your Tainted, your Graf Reaver, your Fell Stingers, they're all on the board, and then the opponent hits you with a sweeper. As long as you've also got the Headless Rider in play, you know, we get back as many zombies as we had non-token zombies in play at the time that the sweeper hit us. So kind of fantastic, honestly. As well as being a good blocker. You know, you're happy to trade with any like 3 toughness thing or whatever. You know, it'll always die in combat, but regardless, you'll get back a zombie out of the deal, and the opponent's lost now their creature. So pretty cool. And that's it. That's the deck. I don't feel like there needs to be too much said else over here. Just very strong cards in terms of the removal. The good black zombie cards from the Innistrad block, but just like a sweet new addition in Deluge of the Dead. You know, the 4-drop slot felt very weak in this deck back in the day. So now we've got this like sweet removal spell that can potentially end up being Graveyard Hate and a source of additional zombies to continue to flood the board with zombies. And that's it. That's the deck. We've got 2 Takenumas, 2 Mishra's Foundries, and 20 gorgeous Godzilla Swamps. Let's jump into some games. Let's see how the deck performs on the Platinum ladder. Haven't had much time to play, honestly. I mean, it is the first of the month, so I think I'm like maybe won a couple of matches. I won about 5 matches last night before the season reset with this deck, and now we're in Platinum, and I think I've played like 1 or 2 games earlier. Won 1, lost 1. Abarthol? Abarthol. Double champions, baby! Yes! Misa likey. Oh my god, mono black though. It's probably just gonna eat a cut down right away. However, it could be a different color combo. Let's see. Mr. Tenacious. I think we're gonna go for Jadar here. This is going to be nice against Sheoldred. Yeah, I mean, surely. Then he'll just follow it up with a cut down, though. Will not feel that great, honestly. Okay, that's 1 invasion down. Interesting of people that play Tenacious Underdog to also play Duress. It's usually... that slot's usually just reserved for... cut down, or maybe March of you know, the Black March. Sure, no problemo. Now it's like, you know, we can just block with the Graf Reaver. You know, if there's no Plane Walker to kill, then it's just a 3/3 that blocks fairly well. Okay, we're looking good. Mono black opponent is not curving super well into whatever his plan was here. So I guess we hit them with an invasion now. And then just swing. Yeah, I'm happy for you to kill that. Unless, of course, you hit me with a Shelly right now. But also, we could top deck an Invoke Despair, because we've got the mana. There she is. Aha! I'm okay to lose a champion here, but also get back my graveyard hate for the two dudes hanging out in the yard there. These very buff gentlemen. Invoke Despair will kill our deluge. They always have it, surely. But at least we got the 2 zombies out of the deal. I think that was a fairly good trade. Invoke off the top, baby. Invoke. Okay, that's game. Unbelievable, man. Just unbelievable, honestly. Yeah, good game, my ass. That was a terrible game. Life is so good when you hit Invoke Despair off the top. I feel kind of gross, but we've also got 1 mana for a cut down. Now, like, you know, the tax from Tenacious becomes problematic for him. Also, we have the Mishra's Foundry. Getting around 2 Sheoldreds with some little zombos, must admit, feels pretty damn nice. That Cruelty of Gix was devastating. On to the next one. Maybe not another, you know, Black Mirror would be the very online dad. Is that me? Oh, that's a weird hand. But I'll keep it, hey, I'll keep it. Invoke is good. Removal's good. Opponent mulligans. He's running Gitrog sleeves. Hey, why don't you guys sound off in the comments? I know I've asked this question before. Oh, God. Lame! Mono blue that had to mulligan twice makes me feel so good. Let's start using up some counter spells. Doesn't have any. Cool. Of course, it can exploit itself, just in case you were not aware of that. Okay, let's go with 1 drop in case he's got Make Disappear. And then we can still hold up removal. This matchup makes me vomit. Freaking mono blue. Now some kind of draw spell from the opponent. They've stopped playing the 2 mana 1 impulse, whatever. Okay, we've got 2 Headless Riders, so I think this is the play here. It's probably going to get countered, but at least, you know, it's one less counterspell in his hand. No problemo. Let's keep on swinging. Anyway, they suddenly just drop like 3 of those damn... what's it called? My goodness. Aha! What are they called? The Talarian Terror. This deck, I mean, if I beat this guy now, I'll be so damn happy. Come on, play that stinky Jin thing. No Jin. No Jin is a good Jin. Could have swung with the Foundry, but... Cool, 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 cool. Hey, bigger Graf Digger. But you also have a Fading Hope. Cool. Hey, these just got, you know, big enough to force your dude into a trade. This is 2 mana ward. Okay. With a bit of luck. I mean, honestly, like against mono blue, it's down to luck. Like, we got lucky. He had to mulligan, he didn't find his Jin. Whew. Just, you know, it is a luck-based game to a very vast degree, so... If I can just wiggle my way through a matchup against mono blue on camera, like if I'm off camera, I 90% of the time I just scoop. There's literally no match that I would rather less play. It is just the lamest freaking thing that could possibly happen in this game. But fortunately, we have ourselves a champion into Ghoulcaller against probably mono white mid range. Mr. Commando. No real enchantments. I mean, the backside of Duty Madod. Yeah. First the swing. Then we'll play the Graf Reaver, even though we take some damage from it. I don't want to let this Cathar flip. So it's not mid-range, it feels more like, feels more like just aggro, honestly. The Vindicator also doesn't like invasion. Flash in Wandering Emperor? No? Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. Okay, okay, okay. Cool. Cool, 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 man. We've got Invasion of Innistrad here that I can happily use. Just didn't want to, again, let the Cathar flip, even though you'd rather play this out on, you know, during the opponent's turn. What? We just straight up go with the Invoke, I guess. Regardless of his ability to block, we need to keep growing the champion. Also worried about old Wandering Emperino. But we have another invasion. We've got another go for the... we've got go for the throat. Okay, that hurts. Obviously. A lot. Very not cool. Oh, double removals. Okay, let's go for the, this one. Yeah, I mean, surely. I did tap my champion. Let's just hope he doesn't have a freaking... there she is. Why? Why, Lone Fox? Why do you do these things to yourself?
I am almost sad to see you go.
Now we get 2 more zombies out of the deal.
Still have much to learn.
Fortunately, this says non-tokens. Otherwise, it would have been so broken with the... Oh, by the way, the art on the new zombie token is really damn nice. Sure. Hello! Good to see you. Extraction specialist 2 or less. So if he has another extraction specialist, we can just, you know. Non-legendary, just double checking. Couple more zombies. How did we get 5? What just happened there? How did I manage to get 5 of those? I think it's time to go big with the adversary here, and then there'll be enough mana left. Should we? Nah, let's go full adversary, hold up the go for the throat for the next. Right, okay. Easier to just go all attack and then not the Jadar. No Wandering Emperor? Aw. Sorry, mate. Off you go! Zombies, baby, zombies. Okay, how are we doing for time? We're 23 minutes in. I think we've given the black one a good, you know, fair showing. Let's jump into the Dimir version and see if it's any better or worse, and you know, then what conclusions we can draw from it. But Dimir zombies, you know, you get access to a couple of interesting, cool things. However, it has made it harder for me to cast Invoke Despair, so that is now gone. But we get 2 battles. We get Invasion of Amonkhet, which, you know, the backside, the Lazotep convert, is a zombie. So it could be pretty cool. And then we get Overcharged Amalgam, which gives us a little flyer that also acts as a counter spell, which can counter, you know, spells, activated abilities, or triggered abilities. So... Worth trying, I think, in a shell like this. I've dropped 1 Headless Rider because honestly it's probably the least good of the cards in the deck to make space for some of these things. We brought in the Bladestitched Skaab for Anthem effect. And the rest are the same cards as before, more or less. Still got the champion, still got the 3/3 cut down, go for the throats. We got the sneaky one of Graf Reaver just still hanging out here. Had to drop one Jadar, so down to 2. Yeah, no invoke, slightly more low to the ground. We could probably cut a land or 2, but I didn't want to like just brick out on camera. So I mean, I have not played this version yet. I threw it together just before I hit record, so this is the first time I'm trying it. Let's see how it goes. You know, I've got the play patterns down pretty good with the previous deck. I think the lack of Invoke Despair as this like sort of top end might be a little problematic. But if we lose like 2 in a row, then we'll probably just call it a night, and I'll upload just the mono black version for you guys. As always, you can find all my decks in the video description down below, on my Untapped, on my Etherhub profile, as well as my mtgsearch.it profile. Sure. Epic. Play with fire. Badass. Hashtag. Ah. Okay. That's also not completely terrible. Hold up. Cut down. Looking like is it of some kind. Whoops. And forcing to discard one more. Yeah, it's definitely... Ooh, and Lear. That's a cool addition. Well, at this point, let's just swing in for the Invasion of Amonkhet. And then hold probably... No, okay. I mean... Okay. Obvious choice here. Clearly, get rid of you. I had a feeling it would be Urabrask and Lear, because they obviously work quite nicely together. All the spells you cast in the early game, you can just start playing again. Will not exploit. And let's see if he's willing to trade. Cool. Opponent is running pretty slack on resources at this point. Okay. It's time to go full adversary on your ass. What creature would we bring back? I mean, he's got some cool stuff in the yard, doesn't he? Maybe we just go grab his Lear or his Urabrask. Probably Lear, eh, if I were to guess. Okay, swing. To 3, that doesn't leave us with quite enough. I think Champion as a 4/4 feels pretty freaking nice. Hold up Amalgam. And exploit one of the little 2/2s. No problemo. Now we go with the Reaver. I mean, the Stinger. So I want to draw something cool. Like that. Hey ho! La da da dee. Can I get a hell yeah? I don't see you getting around this, my friend. Okay, okay. I mean, that was pretty sweet. That was super sweet. We're undefeated so far with Zombos. I think what I'm going to do is play one more match with this Dimir version and call it a night. Hopefully we end on a win, but the fact that Lazotep is a zombie and, you know, the kind of annoying, disruptive ability of it, milling the opponent, forcing them to discard, we get a little bit of card advantage out of it. Honestly, like, these battles are starting to feel very, very good. Like, as I get to figure out the play patterns with them, there's some that are just really good. And, you know, if I were to guess, Watsy will bust out some other ones. Lazotep. Let's get the Death Touchy guy down. You're welcome to burn a Lightning Strike on my adversary. That can be cut down. Ah. Aha. The odd strangle player. Okay. I think here we're going for another 3 blocker. And hold up, cut down. See what he plays. This is probably going to be quite a tough matchup if they get that sort of nut draw freaking nonsense. Okay. Rider is coming out next. Okay, I need lands, mate. I need lands. I need lands and I need them now. I wanted to get rid of the Kimono because of, you know, reasons. If this, you know, if you're, these are like die triggers, so yeah, I love it when you burn your removal like that, mate. Two mountains. LOL. Let's hold up the invasion. He plays something like Thundering Raiju. Okay, that's maybe too many lands now. We get to draw a card and we've got Go for the Throat at the ready. Just zap our face with another... The inevitable... Oh, okay. Oh, we milled all those lands. Thank goodness. That would have been a terrible next couple of turns. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. Yeah, sure. Getting the opponent that plays mono red into top deck mode is a good place to be. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Sure. Really? You're really gonna do that? Oops. I think more bodies is the way to go here. And they scoop. Okay. No worries. Got lightning strike. I've got 3/2 zombies that are just waiting to block ya, mate. Also just absolutely fine with that. I'm going lasso tapping. Lasso tap converting. Let's bluff we have something in hand. And just, I guess we could have grabbed like a Thundering Raiju for the lols. But I think the Anthem effect here and the fact that these aren't decayed zombies but actual zombies is just too sweet to pass up. Swifty boy. Sorry, Monored. Are you just in top deck mode? Aw, I feel so bad for you. I know, it wasn't a creature. Eight? Okay, that's cool. God, when you put Mono Red into the position where he has to block, it's just so nice. Bye-bye! Undefeated zombies, baby! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. 2 versions, both freaking fantastic. The new battles, amazeballs. What can I say? We didn't even need Invoke Despair there, and we beat like one of the strongest decks. A couple of really strong decks there, like in Platinum, sure, but I mean everyone's in Platinum now, so that doesn't really make any sense to bring up. We've arrived at the 40-minute mark. I'm going to call it a night. Jumping back into the decks with my final thoughts and overall review. Well, first of all, the black one. Let me just go and dig up some stats here. Boop, boop, boop. 10 for 3 with, okay, let's make it visible so you guys can copy it. 10 for 3 with the black one. 3-0 the last thing. Just removed one Reaver. Okay, Rotten Reunion was just like a sideboard edition, but 10 for 3. Okay. I find it so weird when I win more on the draw, but who am I to complain? And we didn't get enough matches in with the Dimir version for it to show up here on my profile yet, but those first couple games with the laser tap felt pretty spectacular, honestly. Oh, there we go. 2-0. I thought you needed to do 3 matches with the thing, but anywho, that is it as far as stats. Final thoughts. Black one, I wouldn't make a single edit. Like, obviously Invoke Despair is busted. Like I said, maybe just if you're willing to try take this into the best of 3 ladder, like put in some stuff to exile Atraxas from graveyards, exile Atalis from graveyards, that kind of thing. If you're wanting to play it in best of 1, I don't think there's enough space and wiggle room to like cut anything, because it's all like really kind of good cards to like put in something that's only really good for a specific matchup like Rotten Reunion. But you know, other considerations I had was the Ghoulish Procession, but just these decayed tokens. I also definitely considered putting in like a one-of Cemetery Desecrator at the top end instead of something else, and having like a way of removing counters from our Innistrad. I definitely considered this one. It is a zombie. It's from the same block. And then I definitely considered, where is it? Here, the Arc Ghoul of Thraben for some card advantage. But honestly, like, between the Fellstinger drawing cards and the Invoke Despair drawing the odd card, I felt fine just as is, as you saw in testing, just pretty good. But those are the only kind of final thoughts and potential edits. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. What would you have run instead? There's also this new Transmigrant guy I initially ran 2 of, but wasn't doing the thing for me. I don't know. I guess like a 2 of in, you know, when you, again, maybe sideboard vibes when you're playing against somebody who's got a lot of these non-basics like Domain and whatnot, then it just can come back for just 2 mana and it just keeps coming back. Pretty aggressive threat. Could be cool, but honestly didn't like it. And then as far as the Dimir one, yeah, threw it together 10 minutes ago, what feels like, and we just got some spectacular wins there on the ladder. The Amalgam there was really good on that first match. The Skaab, the Amonkhets. I mean, I think this one is really just more a question of numbers of things. Like, what would you trim to make space for maybe a 4th Invasion of Amonkhet? Or, you know, maybe because we are also milling our own stuff, don't just rely on flipping the Lazotep to bring those things back. Maybe I considered a Crawl from the Cellar. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target zombie you control with flashback. Maybe like a couple of these instead of maybe, you know, cutting, I don't know what. I honestly don't know what. But there was also some, you know, because of this slight like self-mill thing that's going on here with the invasion, to maybe bring in some additional ways than just the backside and Takenuma to bring some things back from the yard, like Crawl from the Cellar, because it obviously works well with our zombies in play. Those were the only things I really thought of. And of course, there wasn't enough space in the deck, but having another like 1-drop alongside the champion in the form of the Cobbled Lancer, I also highly considered, especially considering it's a 1-mana 3/3. However, you can't play it on turn 1 because you need to exile a creature card from your graveyard to play it. But, you know, with the with the Invasion of Amonkhet milling things, maybe it was actually a good idea, but there just wasn't space. I wanted to run it as is. It already felt so bad not to be able to run the Invoke Despairs. But that is going to be it, guys, for tonight's gameplay footage. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, you know, kindly consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, leaving comments down below, and of course, sharing it around to all your friends. We are literally within you know, a head's width away from the mythic 1,000 subscribers, at which point I get monetized, which would be fantastic after putting so much time and effort into this channel, as well as a giveaway being triggered. So subscribe. I will see you all in the next one with some fresh brews, and until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.